are for the season finale of Husky Hoops. And with me always, the icon, voice of the Huskies, the best of the best himself, the legend, Joe D'Ambrosia. Joe, great to see
Brings a tear
you.
to my eye to hear this is the last time we'll get together on a Wednesday.
Oh, I know. And of course, UConn women's legend, Western Connecticut State's own women's basketball head coach, part-time movie star, part-time carpenter, Maria Conlon.
Morning.
Good morning. Good morning. So we came, we saw, and we left on Monday night. First of all, overall, your thoughts on the game. We talked about UConn needing to keep the score low, and we talked about, the first to 70 was going to have the best chance at winning, and UConn definitely did that defensively. Unfortunately, they did it with getting into quite a bit of foul trouble. They were in the bonus, I believe, with 10 minutes to go in the first half. I thought Joe, I know you're going to disagree with me. I really thought the officiating was bad. I thought it was inconsistent for each team. I thought they officiated different for us than they did for Michigan, and that played a huge part of it. I think if we had stayed out of foul trouble, I think we would have had a shot at winning this game, the way that they kept it close and the way they fought. But, Joe?
Well, let me ask you a question. Which game did UConn not get in foul trouble this year?
No.
Okay.
I didn't see him get in foul trouble like this. That's what I'm saying.
Yes, they did. They got in foul trouble like this all season long, Steve. In fact, Coach Hurley, who handled it better than 98% of the fans, said it wasn't the officiating, said they were undisciplined fouling all year long, and that was a problem. We said Demery couldn't get in foul trouble. He did. We said Ball couldn't get in foul trouble. He did. We said Reed couldn't get in foul trouble. He did. And when those three guys were off the court midway through the first half, that's when the game got away from them. Look, I think UConn played their asses off. I think everybody in the state should be proud of the effort that they put in. It's no shame to lose to a better team, and Michigan's clearly the better. Clearly. So to keep that game within 6 points, I think says more about the players and the coaches than it would have if they had won. I
agree.
But you can't. But you said so. You thought the game was officiated poorly.
That's my opinion, and my opinion was wrong. But because it's my own fault, because I haven't seen games where they have gotten into the bonus with like 10 minutes to go in the first half. I've seen them
with 8 minutes to go in the first half and 7 minutes to go in the first half. Look, you look at the disparity in fouls. If it's one or two games, it's one thing, but you look at the season stats and how many more free throws the opposition took. And here's the thing about Monday night. Michigan made all their free throws.
Oh, they did.
Made all their free throws. You can give a team 1,000 free throws, and if they shoot it like they're Venus de Milo, then it doesn't make any difference. But Michigan made all their free throws. I have no problem. The hook and hold call on Caravan was horseshit in my mind. I thought I
saw that. Yeah, I agree.
And while I admit they were inconsistent, it's clearly not the reason UConn lost the game.
No.
Ever in the second half and couldn't make a three-pointer. And Maria, we said we thought they needed to make 11 to 12 threes to be in the game, and they didn't do that.
Especially, they were hot in the first half and from three-point land, and then the second half it all broke down. Maria?
Yeah, I think Joe hit it on the head. I think, listen, we can complain all they want about. Well, not we. I'm not either. There were a couple calls that I didn't necessarily agree with, but I thought overall we fouled in some scenarios and left our feet in some scenarios that I've been talking about all year. That's been a problem.
Yeah.
like they capitalized it on the free throw line. I really thought that was the biggest difference. Like even at the end when they missed the front end of that last 1-and-1, I was shocked. They hadn't missed any free throws really up until that point. And I mean, listen, we were a fast break missed layup away from cutting that score with a minute left.
I know.
And that had nothing to do with the officiating.
No, we were right there.
Even to say that we were hot from 3 in the first half, I didn't really feel that way. I felt like
we're better than Michigan.
We had to earn every shot that we got on offense in the first half.
Yeah.
Like we really, really had to work for that. And, I think Ball hit 1 or 2, maybe Mullins hit 1. I don't even remember. Or Caravan, one of the other ones. But we took a lot of wide open threes in the second half.
Yes. And missed
them.
Yeah.
So, and I thought Reed, I didn't think he played bad. I thought he misjudged some bunnies around the rim and he got a little too deep.
Overcompensated for the big guy, I thought at times.
He was trying to get over 100%. So he wasn't blocked.
I thought his first basket of the game where he had like a nice little jump hook mini fadeaway there. He probably should have just stuck with that for the rest of the game. And then there's listen, we had like multiple possessions in transition that I thought we made really, really poor decisions. Where we either should have brought it out or looked for the trailer coming and our guards are trying to go against, 2 players at the rim. And I mean, it was like a block session there. I mean, it felt like every time we went up to the rim, they were swatting it away. So, I think kudos to our guys. They fought until the freaking end. I mean, even when Michigan went up like 11, with a couple of minutes left, and I thought that, okay, maybe
they were going to put it away. Yeah.
We just kept chipping away. We got some stops. If you would have told me that was going to be the final score, I would have told you were nuts. So, kudos to our guys for hanging in there and playing till the end.
Yeah.
And you know what, Maria, the thing you mentioned at the beginning, something I had said when we were texting back and forth, all the hullabaloo coming into the game was about the Michigan offense, 90 points in 5+ games. Their defense, UConn started its offense 40 feet away from the hoop on every possession.
Yeah.
They made it hard for guys to follow through on cuts.
That was before they started pressing.
Yeah. Their half-court defense didn't get enough credit. I thought their defense was much better than their offense on Monday night, and that's the reason they won.
Yeah. And Chris D agrees with you. He says he was.
Oh, that makes me feel worse
with how we went out, and he never thought this team was making it as far as they did. He just did say he felt it was unacceptable for James Breeding to call the game. And he wants to see Hurley with a Boozer or a Yaxel. He's the best coach in the country. That's what he said.
Well, UConn had chances to get those guys, and they didn't get them.
Right?
They wouldn't pay him enough money.
We couldn't. We didn't pay him. The shooting and the shot selection, was it a basically failure of the players to get those shots, or would you say it was the offense and the system we were running that caused us to take some poor shots with our shot selection?
No, it was the Michigan defense. The system worked all season long until that night. So it's not the system. It's not the system. It's just Michigan defended the hell out of the ball. That's what it was. Had nothing to do with the shot selection. The shots were shots that they were taking, except there was a guy in their chest every time they went up for a shot.
Yeah.
Okay. The only gripe that I think I had, and I had texted Joe this, that listen, and we didn't do it all year, so I wasn't surprised that we couldn't do it, on Monday night. But, having a guard to have the ability to like, you're down 6, there's a minute left. We can't have a guy laterally dribbling for 10, 12 seconds. Guys run around and try to get shots. We need a guy that can either make downhill all the way to the basket, or get a guy that can get downhill and make that play. I thought Malachi Smith played great in some points, and then he was out of his element. And with Demery on the bench at the end, I think really hurt us because he's not big enough and tall enough, in my opinion. Like, we had Caravan coming off some flares towards the end.
Yeah.
Where Demery usually hits him pretty quickly right when he's open, and Malachi Smith just couldn't get it to him in the same.
No.
The longer that and look, Malachi Smith had a really good tournament compared to his regular season, but and you know this from coaching, Maria, that the longer a bench player plays, they get exposed because if they weren't because they're on the bench because they're not as good as the starters. And I think that happened with Malachi on Monday night. There was far too much east-west and not nearly enough north-south. And it's unfortunate, but he filled the role that they wanted him to for 89% of the tournament. It's just that last game against that competition, against those guards, against Cadet and all the guards, McKinney, the guards that Michigan had, he just didn't handle it well. That's all.
Yeah, no, I mean, I agree. I mean, if they played 10 out of 10 times, 9 Michigan would win, right? Would you agree with that?
No, I'd say 7. I'd say 7 out of 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think they weren't. Look, they weren't that. They won by 6 points. They weren't that much.
No.
UConn.
No. I thought we played very well defensively. That was my thing. I thought that we stepped up for a team that scored 90 points throughout the entire tournament, was beating teams by double digits. I thought we played them the best. I thought that we had a good game plan. Do you think there were any adjustments that Michigan did to us that we couldn't answer? Or do you think
Michigan played the way they've played for 40 games? Michigan didn't
do anything different.
They made sure Caravan and Mullins and Ball had somebody in their grill every time they got the ball on the perimeter and didn't give him space. Now you saw a couple of times late when Braylon got space, he knocked down jump shots, but it's just sometimes the other team's better. And I think people have to.
They get coached.
People have to realize that sometimes the other team's better. And
we say that. We say that.
I would say, the only quick adjustment that I saw Coach May make, which was smart, was, we were hanging in there and actually had the lead for a little bit because they were letting us walk the ball up. And even though they were extending us out in the half court, we still were getting some time to get into our offense. I thought it was smart of him to then go pick us up full court, even if they weren't trying to get the steal, but to apply that pressure from 90 feet versus.
Yeah, good point.
I thought that was a really good adjustment because by the time we got it over, we had much less time to get into our reads. And to the point that I said earlier, which we saw towards the end, the offense that we run, it takes some time for us to get into those cuts.
To get into it, yeah.
It's not a quick strike offense, that's for sure.
They got to get into
sending Demery, Demery passes, he goes down, and then Demery comes back up to catch it before we get into our reads. It just takes a little longer, and it's worked for us. It's not like I don't think it doesn't work, but I just think with that length,
you got to get the ball across half court.
That length
half court speed. It has nothing to do with half court. It's a half court offense. It has nothing to do with getting the ball in there.
Right, but I mean getting it with time. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but even they were going to take time off the clock, so that wasn't a factor on Monday night.
Okay. So for the first half, it started off well. Then foul trouble. It got caught up with us. Malachi came in, Ryba came in, and Solo also got in foul trouble, and Terrace Reed did his best to carry the load. Joe, you mentioned Caravan. Caravan really did his best to try to will his team to win. I mean, he played all 40 minutes. He had 17 points. He had a double-double. I think it was 11 boards. He was 3 for 10 from 3-point land, and he shot 5 of 14 for field goal percentage. What were your thoughts on Mr. Caravan and his performance?
He was great. He was a warrior. He'll go
so
down
too.
as one of the biggest warriors to ever play. I'm glad Coach left him in for all 40 minutes. There's no reason not to in his last game. I think they would have played Reed 40 minutes if they could have, because unfortunately, Ryba regressed during the
Yeah,
NCAA tournament, and it's
did.
clearly one of the needs that they have to bring in. They have to go to the portal. Tom Moore, our general manager and coach, have to go to the portal and get us a big, because Ryba can't, as it is constituted right now.
Yeah, he can't be.
Ryba can't be the number one guy. But I thought Caravan was great. Look, he's had a storied career at UConn. If he had won 3 and 4 years, it would have separated him on the men's side. We certainly have women's players who have won 3 national championships. But I think the bottom line is the kid gave his all for UConn.
He did.
And look, whether he plays in the NBA or not, and I don't think he's got it to play in the. I don't think there's not a position for him in the NBA.
Yeah, I think he's kind of a tweener. I don't know where he would fit. I agree
The only
with
thing he
you.
has going for him in the NBA is none of them play defense. So he doesn't have to really necessarily worry about guarding anybody. But no, I agree.
But one thing he's got going against him is his age. If you have
Yeah.
a chance to take a 20-year-old at his skill level or a
Yeah.
23-year-old at his skill level, you're going to take the 20-year-old.
Right.
Listen, he'll have a great overseas career, and he'll make him a lot of money over there.
Yeah, and you know what? And I hope he doesn't wallow in the G League.
Yeah.
He's too good for that.
Well, overseas, actually, his game fits really well to the European.
Oh,
style
absolutely.
anyways.
Yep, absolutely.
I thought Caravan played great. What I was really impressed with the other night, that I think really kept us in the game, our guards rebounded. Mullins,
they had to, yeah.
Malachi Smith, Demery when he was in, Ross Stewart, like those guys, they cleaned up a lot of rebounds because Reed,
he had his hands full.
He had his hands full, and I mean, Mullins was all over the place. I didn't think he had like the best offensive game I've ever seen him have, but he knocked down some big shots at the end. But he was everywhere in the defensive end. It might have been the best defensive night I've seen him play all year.
I
thought he did a really great job rebounding, both offensively and defensively.
You were right, though. In transition, we had several opportunities to get points, and we failed on them. And I think that would have made a huge difference. Where you were right, they would come down and miss a layup, or they would kick it out or take a 3 immediately. Those possessions I thought were critical because each stop we got against Michigan was a godsend, a breath of fresh air. And those opportunities, you can't waste them. You have to make the most of every stop, every steal, every opportunity, turnover to get points. And
listen, it's all time and place. I think, Caravan had one towards the end, but he aggressively took it all the way up to the rim. I thought a couple of times we tried to go against some guys we had no business. It gets blocked out of bounds. Now you're setting up an out of bounds play. But one stat that was interesting, because I did think that we played pretty good transition defense on Monday night. We had some turnovers. I think it was at the 4.5 minute mark. Michigan had not scored off a turnover yet.
No, right. They had no transition points. No.
Yeah, so I thought we played really good transition defense.
And they didn't hit.
Well, they did one at the end because what's his name got the alley-oop off that turnover, so they had to have at the end. But
they didn't hit a 3-pointer in the first half either. That was the other thing. And it was the foul differential as well. There were 6 lead changes, and
but those were all in the first 10 minutes of the game.
Yeah, I know. Once Michigan got the lead, that was it. So the roster outlook, the NBA draft, Caravan obviously is out. Reed is out. Do you see a potential solo ball leaving? Do you see
what, the NBA?
Yeah.
He's already said he's staying.
Come on. Seriously.
Okay. Yeah, he already said he's staying.
Solo
he said he's
ball?
not going in the portal too. He said he's staying at UConn.
Steve, what? Let me ask you a question. I love you, but what would solo ball do in the NBA? If Tristan, let me ask you a question. If Liam McNeely and Tristan Newton can't make, or Adama Sanogo can't make it in the NBA, Where is Solo Ball going to fit in the NBA?
The only reason I asked that was because there was talk about Mullins going to the NBA.
Well, but that's two different stories.
Well, I think Ball's better than Mullins.
Huh?
It is. I think Ball's better than Mullins.
No.
That's why I'm no. Okay. I didn't know that. I had no idea. Do you think we will have to be more aggressive in the portal going forward? They have been like 80% homegrown and 20% portal, but Michigan was 100% portal, all 5 starters. Do you think we will change our approach, or we'll keep doing what we're doing and just bring those pieces in?
I don't think we have the money to go out and get.
Well, when they showed the spending, we were 9th out of the Sweet 16 teams in spending for men's basketball. It was, I think, $18.6 million we spent.
Nobody. Who posted that? Where did you see
it? It was
that?
an article on The Athletic. The Athletic did an article on the money.
Here's the way I look at that. We were 9th in spending and we finished 2nd.
Right.
Yeah.
So we spent well. I mean, Michigan just spent better.
I think you're right. Yeah, this exactly. Michigan spent more. I would change that too. Michigan has because of the football and the TV revenue.
Yes.
Power 4 schools have the opportunity to spend more money. And look, before we address, and you didn't ask about Mullins, which I want to get into because you asked the Solo Ball question, which whatever. Do I like the fact that a school with 5 transfers, 4 of whom didn't play there last year, won the national championship? No. Did they do it within the rules? Absolutely. They played by the rules and they won. So good for them. Hail to the victors. You know, that's just the way. That's just the way it works in college sports these days. You're
absolutely right. That's the new game, and you have to adjust as a university. You have to adjust as a fan base. You know, football, you're going to see 40 to 50 transfers a year. College basketball, you're going to see things like this, just like Kentucky, who spent over $20 million, and there's a lot of heat on their coach because of their loss when they brought in exceptional talent, allegedly, with the money they spent, and they failed. So that's why I asked. But, Joe, what would you like to say about Mullins? You wanted to get into
I think Mullins would make a neat Liam McNeely mistake if he goes into the pros.
I agree with you 100%. I 100% agree with you.
I think, we've had guys. Booknight was one. McNeely was another. I hope Mullins isn't. That go to the NBA and find out they're not NBA players yet. And then they get late. Now, McNeely has a chance, but I need you to tell me which guys who were great in the G League turned out to be great in the NBA.
That's why it's a G League. Anyone who's played in the G League does not.
What's that?
Derek White.
Derek White is it. But that's one.
Yeah.
That's one out of a million.
I 100% agree. If you're in the G League, and especially for an extended period, they're not developing into NBA stars. I mean, they may contribute, they may be bench players, but no, they don't develop into NBA stars. And now they're even talking about doing NBA Europe now, starting European League. So, do you believe that we need to absolutely bring in another big, like you said, because Ribe is not going to be the guy. He's going to be a missing piece there. And then, replacing Caravan. Do you think we bring in another transfer at that position?
Of course.
Yeah.
Emery done?
No? I believe Demery is done.
Demery's done too, right?
Yes.
No, I don't think so.
Oh, he has one more year.
I think he did. Yeah.
I'm checking right now.
No, he does have one more year.
Oh, he does. Yes, he is a junior. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, not even close
that's to being good. I thought that one of them was a senior. Maybe I'm thinking of Malachi Smith, but no, you're right. Malachi was the redshirt senior. Okay. So I mean, the core is coming back. I mean, with Ball, Mullins, Demery.
Well, we don't know if Mullins is coming back. You just asked. We don't know if Mullins is coming back.
Right.
I said I'd like him to come back,
You
but
said
that doesn't mean he's gonna.
You said you think it would be crazy for him to go to the NBA, and he's
I do,
not
but that
ready.
doesn't mean he's not. That doesn't mean he's coming back.
Okay. So
Look, let me
what percentage would you put on?
Let me interrupt you for a second here. I now have a fourth thing on my list of useless things. Okay, 10-day weather forecasts, mock drafts, preseason polls, and figuring out a team's roster one day after the season ends. We have no idea. No idea. Do they need more pieces? Absolutely. Do we know they're going to get more pieces? Yes. Do we know the kids are going to fit in? No. So it's all pure speculation. And we have no better clue than anybody what they're going to do, who they're going to bring in, or how they're going to fit in. Do they need more pieces? Yes, I think they do. They've only got 2 recruits coming in for next year, and they're both mid-range guys. They're both one kid's 6'4" and one kid's 6'6", so that'll fit. But they definitely need a big. And look, I think Ryba could develop into a good player, but he regressed,
Right.
And he's not. I said during the year, and I was probably up my ass on this. I said during the year that he was better as a freshman at that stage than Klingon was offensively. I think he's gone backwards.
I think that he played well against Big East competition. I think when he got to the tournament against the best of the best, he struggled. He was
I wouldn't call Furman the best of the best. I wouldn't call UCLA the best of the best.
But I'm saying they're better than the Big East teams that he faced.
Well, not Furman.
Not Furman, no. But wouldn't you say that the majority of the teams we played, besides maybe St. John's, were better than the Big East teams? That's what I'm saying. The conference, he played pretty well during the stretch that Reed missed.
When was that, Steve? That was the beginning of the year. That was against the non-conference. That was against the non-conference teams. He didn't exactly light it up. And look, this isn't a referendum on Eric Ryba. I think he's going to be fine. But the idea that he can carry the load himself,
I don't agree with that.
Is poppycock.
No, I 100% agree with you there. I think that he has the size and potential to absolutely develop. Is it going to happen next year? No. And I do think that they have to bring someone in. What were your thoughts on Ross during this game?
Go ahead, Maria.
I thought Ross played well. I mean, he did what he does. Came in, brought energy. I thought him and Stewart both came in and did some nice stuff for us.
Yep.
I didn't think that they did
We
anything.
just didn't get much on offense from him.
I mean, offensive rebound here. Stewart hit a shot, then he hit a big 3 from the outside, or was that the game before? I can't remember.
No, that was the game before.
I think that was the game before.
But yeah, I mean, listen, I thought they both played well. When they're in, listen, if those guys are in and they're taking the bulk of our shots, something's wrong anyways. So from an offensive perspective, we shouldn't be seeing a lot from them. We should be seeing the hustle plays, the offensive rebounds, kicking out for threes, etc., which I thought that they did. So,
and they had to play an extended period too because of the foul trouble. So I said we had 3 or 4 of the starters out and those guys were in. I said, if we can survive through this.
2 things that I've been saying all year and Joe's been saying, well, him not as much on the second point as me, but number 1, the foul trouble is an issue, right? When your best players are consistently on the bench, it's really hard to win games, specifically national championship games. Number 2, which was glaring, I think, on Monday night, is they had a better point guard than us.
Much better.
They had a national championship point guard that did everything that he needed to do down the stretch, got the ball to the people that he needed to. And I'm not saying that Demery couldn't have done that Monday, but he wasn't on the floor. So
he struggled all tournament.
What haves or what should haves. But, all year long, I've been saying that I just didn't feel like we had that point guard like Michigan does that can knock down an open shot and score when they need him to, that guy's a freaking playmaker, and he got the ball to all the people that he needed to at the end of the game, and that was the difference.
And as you said, not just gets the ball but hits a shot when he has to.
Correct.
He had to hit a couple of big shots going in the lane and stuff. And yeah, I agree. I didn't say it as much as you did, but I'm in total agreement. Demery was good, but he wasn't. They were hoping by the second half of his first year he'd be Tristan Newton. He wasn't Tristan Newton.
No. He did battle through injuries during the tournament. I mean, he was absent some games. He didn't play, and
Wait a minute. What games didn't he play?
I thought he missed one game.
In the tournament?
Yeah.
No.
Well, he had an ankle injury at some point, but I don't remember.
Yeah, I thought they said him
he
for
didn't,
one
He
game.
didn't miss any games.
But so did Solo Ball.
Right. No, I thought Demery was out for one of the games. Okay, I could be wrong. The second half, the other thing was, we talked about Michigan's defense, and we had a long scoring drought. Do you attribute that really to the foul trouble and the guys not being in the game, or just we were missing shots? We had some good shots.
Let me correct myself, Steve. You were right. He missed the Furman game.
Okay.
He didn't play against Furman, but that's
inconsequential.
You could have played point guard, and they might have beat Furman.
But yeah, the offense in the second half and the drought that we had really made the big difference. And I think it was because of the foul trouble that we got into. How do you rebuild confidence for the returning players? I mean, because I commend them for their effort. I don't see this as some epic disaster. I think they played their tails off. They just, we had to play the best of the best from everyone to beat Michigan. That was the only way we were going to do it. We had to play at 100%, limit turnovers, make shots. That was the only way we were going to beat them. So
what confidence are we rebuilding? We just went to the national championship game. So all these guys that got to play in this game, they know how to play it, right?
There's a lot of guys coming back. I agree.
Yeah. So
what confidence do you have to rebuild?
You mean just losing a couple of
guys?
I
guess just losing in the national championship game. I didn't know if people
here's the biggest thing.
Lose confidence over it.
And I think that Hurley did a phenomenal job in all his pressers and all his post-game stuff. I think we take for granted how hard it is to even get to that point. And they had a really, really, really tough road. Yes, they came up a little short, but I don't think that there's any lost confidence in that locker room. It's not like they got blown out in the national semifinal and it's a poor taste. Like I'm thinking back to my freshman year when we were up against Notre Dame the entire first half. Come out the second half, we get blown out and lose in the national semifinal. I remember the reaction from us in the locker room was, we never want to feel this way again, right?
Exactly.
I don't think it's a confidence issue. I think if anything, it inspires and motivates them for next year to get back to that same spot, but then get over that last hurdle. And here's what we have to remember too, because we're talking about us and who's coming back, who's not coming back. I mean, if you look at the Elite Eight teams, these are teams that are going to look completely different.
100% different. Yeah.
2 months from now, forget about next fall. So, this isn't a UConn thing. This is an everybody thing. Like, there's nobody that I watched this tournament where I was like, oh man, they have, 7 sophomores that are really good that I think all of them will be back next year and they'll be a really, really tough team. I mean, the Boozer boys aren't coming back. Duke's going to look totally, totally different. Yeah. Arizona's going to look different. Michigan's losing pretty much everybody.
Yeah.
Obviously they've proven they can go to the portal and get a whole roster, but I just, even same with Illinois. Illinois is the only one maybe that had a couple of underclassmen. I don't think any of them started either. Right, Joe? There's a lot of
I think them and us have the most
underclass, but that is fun. Back, right? We're not talking about almost full. Back in the day, if you graduated 2-3 people, that was kind of standard. Now you might graduate two or three leave to the portal, 2 or 3 go to the league. Like everybody's going to look totally different. So I think to Joe's point before, it's really hard to play the what if game and how do we do this? How do we do that? I mean, our team looked totally different this year than it did last year.
Well, and you made a great point, Maria, when you compared your reaction in the locker room.
Yeah.
This is just me asking. I'm not trying to be difficult, and I know you don't want to hear it. Do you see any potential UConn players who may enter the portal that come to mind? And I know
if there was to be anybody, it would be Stewart.
It would be, okay.
And I don't think he'll do that. He would be the one. No, I think retention is as big a part of what the UConn coaching staff does is going and getting.
I think that's made the biggest difference because they have a good retention rate and they have built a team. And I loved what Coach Hurley said about, between Calhoun, Gino, Kevin Ollie, the culture of UConn is what separates us and what makes us who we are. So just turning towards the women, where do you think they go from here, Maria? I mean, they lost to South Carolina. They were undefeated. They were a juggernaut in a freight train. But you had said they had never faced a team like South Carolina, the athleticism, the physicality that they brought to the table. And we couldn't match up. What do you think for the women in their outlook?
I think first and foremost, we already have a tougher out-of-conference schedule next year than we did this year, just looking at some of the matchups that we have early on. So I think that's a start, right? I think we got to hit the portal. I think we talked a little bit about this on Monday. I think we've hit some good portal stuff.
Oh yeah. But
Lopez, Seneschal, Caitlin Chen did a great job coming out of the portal. Even Caitlin Heckel. I mean, I don't think that was a bad get out of the portal.
No, I thought she was good.
But obviously Williams
Sarah,
was pretty much, a non-factor.
No,
I think that we got
the Big Ten Player of the Year. That blew my mind that we didn't get as much out of her.
Yeah, I mean, we need another big. Obviously, we have a really good big coming in. We have like the number 3 recruit in the country. She's a big, but she'll still be a freshman. I think that we got to pick up some pieces in the portal. I know that their staff is already in there. And listen, the portal's been wild these last couple of days. I mean, you want to talk about
how many people are in them? Yeah,
Tennessee lost every single player on their entire roster and lost their huge commit that was coming in, who's now going to be going and following the coach that recruited her to Central Florida. So there's been a lot of change-ups already on the women's side.
God. Wow.
And I think we'll continue to see some of that. But I think we got to hit the portal. We still got, we got Sarah coming back. We got, Shade, KK, El Affy, Blanca. We got, Allie. Hopefully we'll get Morgan Shelley back. I mean, we don't talk about her enough either. I think, had we had her this year, she could have released some of that pressure, that we needed in that game the other day, just from a shooting standpoint when we were in some foul trouble. But, we still have a lot of kids coming back. I think that UConn will find.
You got the big Irish girl who was hurt all year, Gabby.
Yeah. I forgot about her too. So, I mean, listen, even though it wasn't one of our years where like we suffered crazy injuries, we still had.
No, we had some.
Imagine if we still had Caroline Ducharme as the old Caroline Ducharme that we saw her freshman, sophomore year. I mean, that kid could freaking play. So, we still had some stuff this year that we had to play through. We definitely need to fill voids. I think we need to, Caroline will be a big loss from a leadership perspective in the locker room and on the bench that we got to fill a void with, either with somebody there or somebody coming in. And we need another big, which we have, like I said, in the freshman class.
I mean, Jana can play, but she's limited in what she can do. And I totally agree with getting someone who can score.
This year too. Again, she's kind of been injury prone since her.
She was. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I think that you got to kind of revamp and hit the transfer portal and see if you can get a couple of diamond in the rough, and then just do what we do. I mean, steamrolling through the Big East doesn't impress me at all, but I do think that our out of conference.
We played a tough out of conference schedule when I reviewed it. We really did. We played
did not. Us?
I thought we did.
Who did we play?
We played Michigan. We played Tennessee, Notre Dame.
Okay. I mean, we beat Notre Dame by 30 in the regular season. When they weren't at full, they weren't at full speed. They had a couple of injuries that game. I mean, we didn't play UCLA. We didn't play Texas. We didn't play South Carolina. We didn't play Vanderbilt. I think we're playing Vanderbilt. Is it next year or the year after? I don't remember. But
I thought it was scheduled for last year or for next year.
I don't know. It might be 2027. But just having South Carolina on our out of conference games this coming year, I think will help. I mean, we've got to play the top teams during the year.
Michigan, Southern Cal. Michigan, Southern Cal, and Iowa were ranked.
Steve, you're giving me a headache.
No, I was just saying Michigan, Iowa, and Southern Cal were ranked.
They stopped.
Iowa wasn't any good.
Iowa stinks.
I know.
Notre Dame. Seed. USC was banged up without their best player, without their All-American. Tennessee's terrible. And Tennessee has no team right now. So, there'll be a lot of change-ups. I think we'll make some changes as well, and we'll be back. We'll be back where we're supposed to be.
Do you think that how would your evaluation be if KK Arnold is the starting point guard? Do you think we were limited with her because she wasn't as much of a scorer, or she did her job distributing the ball and playing tough defense?
I think KK is fine in that spot so long as you have another two guard who can handle and can also shoot. KK's too limited on the offensive end to carry the full load, which we know, but she does wreak havoc. Like, we need her on the defensive end.
No, she's a force defensively.
But you got Heckle next year, and they'll have a whole nother year, summer and fall of developing her into where she needs to be.
What about the kid who was the preseason freshman of the year who never played? Kells?
Yep. They had a couple kids that didn't play this year that we didn't really get to see. So, those are all variables too. Like I said, we were banged up more than people realize. It just wasn't like other years where it was necessarily our star player, so we didn't talk about it as much. But it's not like we didn't have a deep bench this year at all.
No. And our good friend Christy had a funny comment. He believes that Gino did the impossible. He made Dawn Staley into a sympathetic figure. Do you agree with that?
Sympathetic?
Unfortunately, yes.
Yeah.
I
know.
Mean,
listen, he definitely made her be able to play the victim card a little bit, which was probably a little bit. I mean, listen, we could talk about. I said my piece on this the other day. Yesterday.
No, I know.
They both came out with statements. It's like, no one is flawless. Gino's not flawless.
No.
People have weak moments. They make mistakes. I don't think he unraveled like I just saw that Chris D put. Like, he had a moment. I mean, we've seen everybody have these moments. Mulkey, Dawn, Pat Summitt back in the day.
We're human. We're all human.
Everybody's had moments. I mean, hopefully we stop hearing about this until we see them in November, which I'm sure ESPN will show a bunch of clips of that. But, I think we got to I thought Dawn said it really well yesterday. Like, everybody's just got to turn the page.
Yeah, it's over. It's absolutely, I totally agree. It's over. Stop harping on it. Stop focusing on it. Maria, the outlook for the women next year, do you see them still being a dominant force, rolling through the Big East and being ranked in the top 5?
Yeah, I mean, listen, we have the Naismith Player of the Year coming back.
We do.
He's the best player in the country. We still have a good amount of core coming back. I mean, we're losing AZ from a scoring perspective, but outside of that, what did we lose, guys? Like,
no, I mean, and
who scores every game?
AZ was absent against South Carolina.
But I just mean listen, if we didn't have AZ this year, we wouldn't have gone.
Oh, no, I agree.
But
I agree with you there.
Yes, I thought she disappeared in the national championship game, but she's still a big loss. But that's really our only big loss this year on the court. Like I said, I think Caroline is a loss from off the court standpoint, but on the court, you're really replacing AZ, and then you go from there.
Joe?
Totally agree. To think UConn's going to fall out of the top 5, it's ludicrous. When you bring the best player in the country back, you bring a point guard who's now got 2 years of starting experience. You bring a bunch of kids who played a lot this year in significant roles. You're bringing in the Gatorade Player of the Year. No, UConn will still be in the top 5. Will they be number 1? Probably not. Does it matter? Probably not.
No,
they'll still be, they'll still be at the top of the pack.
And I mean, do you feel the same with the men? I mean, we have a good core coming back.
Oh no, Steve! What did I say earlier?
I know, but just asking. I know
I have no idea, and I'm not going to make a prediction.
Okay. Well, we had 2 great runs and 2 great seasons, and I think that our fans should be happy with how hard our team played and how far they went. Getting both teams into the Final Four, that doesn't happen every day. So it was very impressive, and these kids played their tails off. And again, being in the Big East, it's tough. When I saw the Big East television contract, I laughed. The men's Big East TV contract is $80 million a year. And I'm thinking to myself, that's like 1 game for the SEC on their TV contract. So it's just such a challenge financially when you're behind by that much. But any closing thoughts, Maria, on this season for both teams?
Listen, as UConn people in Connecticut, if there's not a national championship, the sky is a little bit dimmer.
I know. We're spoiled.
I thought both teams had a phenomenal year, obviously. The women going undefeated, their first loss in the Final Four, but getting there, amazing, again, for the 25th time. And the men, who I think a lot of people had counted out, lose early in the tournament, did what they did. It was just remarkable. I think that, as UConn fans, we should be appreciative to have 2 of the top coaches on both sides in our corner here in Stores, and I think the future will be bright.
And they bleed blue. Joe?
I can't add anything to what Maria said. I think it was a great year. We've got great coaches. They'll rebuild. They'll be back at it in October or before that, actually. And I think they'll both be fine. Will they get to the Final Fours again? Who knows?
Who knows?
Injuries, and who knows who's coming in. So
no, I agree. No, it was a great season, a fun season to cover. I thank you guys again for doing a great job. And even though Dave decided to abandon us, which was funny. So until October, this is Husky Hoops. Maria Conlon, the UConn legend, Western Connecticut State University head coach. She's also in the portal looking, so contact her if you're interested. Part-time movie star and an excellent carpenter. And we have the icon, legendary voice of the Huskies himself, the best of the best, Joe D. Thank you. Maria is giving me dirty looks. No, they're not going to contact you. Don't worry. Steve Cully, worst podcast host in the universe. Remember, when life gives you lemons, don't make lemonade. Take 2 oranges. Throw them right back at life.